Sometimes when you're out on a hike, the journey is the destination. But other times, maybe you have a small window, maybe you just want a quick hit. Sometimes you just want a quick hike with a solid payoff. We have a perfect one for you. Very doable in winter, too, if you have spikes or snowshoes. A high-reward view of Lake George on today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Morja Wealth Management, serving the North Country for 3 generations. MorjaWM.com. Securities offered through Hightower Securities, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Hightower is an SEC-registered investment advisor. And Kinney Drugs, whose pharmacists offer routine seasonal vaccines for older adults, including senior dose influenza, COVID, RSV, and pneumonia. Details at KinneyDrugs.com.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Tuesday, December 9th. First up, Long Island Republican Bruce Blakeman has officially launched his campaign for governor. The Nassau County executive made the announcement on Fox News this morning.
I'm ready for the fight, and I'm going to fight for New Yorkers. I'm going to make sure that we do have economic prosperity. I'm fighting for your children and your grandchildren so that they have a bright future. We're going to create prosperity. We're going to make New York safer. We're going to make it the Empire State again.
Blakeman gained attention last month when he cruised to re-election in a cycle that otherwise heavily favored Democrats. Since he was first elected in 2021, he's pushed through policies like banning transgender athletes from county sports facilities, created a volunteer law enforcement unit that his critics have labeled as a militia, and directed county detectives to work alongside federal authorities in President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. Blakeman's entrance into the race kicks off a heavily contested clash between him and Congresswoman Elise Stefanik, who announced her candidacy for governor last month. Both Stefanik and Blakeman are vocal allies of Trump, but so far, Trump has declined to pick a side. Next year's race for governor in New York is expected to be one of the nation's most watched contests. Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul is running for re-election, but faces a primary challenge from her own Lieutenant Governor, Antonio Delgado. New York needs to replace all the state's lead water pipes by 2037, but that's going to be a challenge. As Ryan Zunner reports for the New York Public News Network, a new map outlining the entirety of the state's water service lines has some stark revelations.
Around 3.1 million people in New York receive their drinking water through confirmed or suspected lead pipes. That's 15% of the state's population. Buffalo has the highest confirmed percentage for major cities outside of New York City at 45%.
What's equally heartbreaking is that there's an equal amount, another 45%, where it's unknown. And there's going to be a good portion of those that will be discovered.
That's Joshua Kleinberg, Senior Vice President of the New York League of Conservation Voters. He says while Buffalo's data certainly leads the pack, lead pipes and their associated health hazards hit communities large and small, rural and urban, wealthy and impoverished. Federal rules require replacement work to begin in 2027 and finish by the end of 2037. Many towns and cities have already started, and while New York has set up a grant program, there's currently no state guidelines for when or what they're replaced with or who foots the bill. Kleinberg says that needs to change.
You have some communities that are working with homeowners to share the cost and others that are just giving the entire bill to the homeowners, sticking them with it. You have some communities that are using plastic piping, other that are using copper. You have all these different modes and methods for doing this.
The advocacy for more state support is echoed by Jerome Shad, chairman of the Erie County Water Authority. Their district does not include the city of Buffalo, but many neighboring and outlying communities. He says about 90% of their requests are denied.
Criteria itself is very fair in terms of equities of who's the poorest community, who's the neediest. But we happen to be a large system, and we have a number of affluent neighborhoods, and we have a number of very unaffluent neighborhoods. But we're measured by the totality, and so we often do not get approved because we don't hit the mean level of need.
In 1981, a few years before lead pipes were officially banned in the U.S., the federal government allocated $25 billion towards water infrastructure, almost half of total investment in the area. By 2021, that amount had dwindled down to $4 billion. The Infrastructure Improvement and Jobs Act passed the same year, putting that number up to $55 billion, but Kleinberg says that money is slated to run out by the end of next year.
As the federal money winds down over the next year and a half, and as we get to that 2-year point where the 10-year starting gun fires, this is really a wake-up call now to have the policies and the public financing in place. So this is a seamless transition, and we can remove all lead pipes quickly, cost efficiently, and also importantly, very equitably.
Right now, for Erie County water customers, the authority's chairman says their cost of replacement is being carried mostly by them.
We are optimistic that we're going to succeed on getting all the lead out, and we're going to keep asking every year to get financial support from the state to help us.
If you believe your home has lead pipes, you can call your local water authority. And Kleinberg says doing things like running your water after long periods of non-use, only using cold water to cook, and buying a lead-certified filtration cartridge can help. In Buffalo, Ryan Zunner for the New York Public News Network.
The trail to Bradley Lookout in Bolton Landing is a relatively new path. It's less than 2 miles out and back, so it's an especially good choice for families with kids or people hiking with a bit less mobility. And the payoff is expansive views of Lake George. Amy Feiereisel did it before the snow flied, but I bet it would make a perfect winter outing too. Here's Amy's audio postcard.
It's interesting. I guess this time of year when it's so brown, the moss is just really popping out to me. You know, moss at the base of trees, moss on sort of like long fallen logs and on rocks. Really a landscape of mostly browns and grays and then just these bright pops of the green moss. Wow, I've come to a part of the trail where it feels like really wide as a road. Feeling like maybe this used to be a logging road. But this is really, really pleasant. I think I'm used to hiking a lot in the high peaks on really narrow, really rocky, rooty routes. But this is just like so wide and easy, and I don't have to look at my feet that much. So I'm really looking up and out. And I've just entered this really lovely section of, it's like all evergreens, almost no deciduous trees. It is just like so quiet right here. I can't hear anything. Like no cars, no planes. And it's completely still, like there's no wind at all. So there isn't even like the rustling of the trees, and I haven't heard like hardly any bird song at all. It's a little spooky, but it's also just really, really peaceful. So up to this point, like just now, it's been really mild, like just this very gentle uphill, but now we're climbing a hill. Still, nothing close to vertical, but something to get you breathing. Oh my gosh, wow. I just came over a little rise, and just like all of a sudden, here's Lake George in front of me. There's sort of a rocky outcropping that you come out to that you can stand on. Oh my gosh. Talk about bang for your buck. Oh, that was such a nice, easy walk, and this view is incredible. It's definitely not 360, maybe more like 180, but I can see like a lot of Lake George in front of me. It is still a very dreary and very overcast day, but it's beautiful up here. Wow. That winterscape of green and blue and gray and little pops of, I can't even call it red. It's definitely just brown, but there's something special about it all the same. Amy Feiereisel, North Country Public Radio at Bradley's Lookout, looking out over Lake George.
We have more news all the time on our website, ncpr.org. Music today by Oscar Sarmiento of Potsdam and Martha Gallagher of Keene. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.